Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to an SP Reviews where today we have ourselves a track from an act named Alex Woburn entitled Scrooge. And if we switch over to here, we have ourselves a track on the screen on Spotify. This is not the first time that I reviewed Alex's music. I've listened through Boring Stories, Magic Is This, and Clown, and I've typically enjoyed my time with these tracks. I look forward to hearing this fourth song today, so we're going to listen through it from start to finish. I'm going to hear what we think. We're also going to be giving the song a ranking out of 10 in several different areas at the end, so let's go, let's do it. Scrooge. It goes straight in. You've got that automation with that synth part, and then boom, drums and everything like that. It's great. I like what's going on with that kind of violinish kind of vocoder synth in the middle. I'm wondering if that could have potentially been put down 0.25 dB or 0.5 dB in the mix. But I mean, aside from that, it's fantastic. The transition from the verse to the chorus there was so smooth and succinct that we had the great use of risers and stuff from reverse takes and everything like that. There's a lot of variety here, and it's a really tight mix as well. You know, you get what the idea is that what the track's about really sort of early on.
The how, like Scrooge, you're the ghost of Christmas past. Even when I smile or try to have a laugh, like Scrooge, you're everything I miss. I'm haunted by memories and all these spirits.
First things first, I'll throw out your sweater. So that was the interlude there, in case you were not aware. And I like the way that it's structured. I think that it's smart. It's a short song at 2 minutes 50, but we are telling a story. There is development there. We're getting more of a feel for it. It follows the fundamentals really well. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to talk about this more in the conclusion. I think I know what the song is about. I'm just going to get my scoring sorted, and then it'll appear on the screen whilst we're doing the conclusion. Because welcome to the conclusion, my review of this track from an act named Alex Woburn titled Scrooge. Now, what do I think this track is about? I think it's about someone who had some fun with a friend of theirs, a special friend of theirs, and this person they're into is ending up getting married, and they're feeling kind of left behind like that. You know, I see on Instagram that they're, you know, that this person is getting married and all this kind of stuff, and you just kind of feel like you were used, or like you just feeling kind of awful about it. And then as we go through the track, you realize that the sweater that they have that reminds you of that person, that you end up wanting to throw it away near the end there in that interlude section. So I think the story that's told here of learning that you need to kind of get rid of the kind of stuff that used to hold you down and everything like that, so you don't like feel like a Scrooge. I think that's smart. I think it's a story that a lot of people be able to relate to, like kind of getting over your exes and realizing that you have to find your own sense of direction and everything like that, and you have to get rid of what ties you down. I think that's cool stuff. I don't feel, I'm sad to hear that Alex had to go through it, but I think it's really brave that we discussed it within a track, and I think that it's really solid songwriting, the lyricism. So well done on that front. I think that the vocals were handled well. We clearly understand our vocal technique. We're comfortable on a head and chest voice there. It was a rather measured, balanced approach to it. Like, we had a similar sort of affectation to it the entire time. I don't think we needed to do more than what we had with it. It was more than palatable. It was pleasant to listen to. It was like kind of catchy electro poppy synthy stuff there. It had a pleasant sort of charm to it. It harmonized neatly with the other parts of the arrangement. I think that we communicating that kind of calm, collected, measured approach quite well throughout there. It's similar to other stuff I've heard from Alex Woburn in the past. It's on brand. It makes sense to me. I'm happy with it. The track itself behind it at 2 minutes 50 was nice and short, well within that 2 to 4 minute sweet spot. I think I gave the song got an overall score of like a 7.2 out of 10, and like the structure got an 8 because I think it was just wonderful how effective we were at going between the various sections of the track. We were very sort of short with our transitions where we needed to be, very succinct. There was no filler, there was no fluff. It was very much sort of like, it was really well handled. I think that there were some parts I really enjoyed about the track, such as the variation with the drums and stuff like that, like the rise up at the beginning, the automation of that coming in with those kicks and stuff like that, for all the synths and bass and everything else. I think that was just very sort of eloquent there. We had a great sense of pace with the chord notes there. We had adjustments of various sort of drum patterns there. We weren't afraid to get into some 8ths and 16ths, but ultimately the chord note one's accents reigned supreme, and it was catchy, and it had a great sense of oomph to it as well, because the tones for the instruments that we chose in terms of percussion. Bass tone that we had was nice and balanced. It wasn't too much, it wasn't too little. We harmonized neatly with the lower elements there, was providing a sense of cohesion with the drum percussive bits. The synths that we had throughout there was one part I don't necessarily agree with from a post-production perspective, but I think it was great as an alternate lead, that wow, with like the mid-range resonance and stuff like that. I think that was a fantastic alternate lead at the end of the chorus sections to the vocals. I think that was a smart move. I just think it was too loud in the mix. But like some of the other sort of sparkly kind of pad bits, as well as some of the sequences and lead bits, were fantastic. The synths were really well handled within this. It was it very reminded me of the 80s. It was a sense of magic to it, and I adore that. I think it's great to have that sense of a whimsy in a track, to allow it to be more than simply a really kind of serious. The track didn't sound like it was trying to take itself too seriously. We were trying to communicate our feelings about something that was important to us, but also wasn't trying to sort of like drag the listener down with us, and I have to appreciate that. There were some really pretty melodies and harmonies on display here with the major and minor triads here. We had a fairly sort of similar bass line and chord progression throughout a lot of this piece there. We occasionally adjusted it by keeping that root note going strong. Although the interlude did change, we kept going up and up as if we were trying to communicate that things were improving, that we were getting out of the mire that we're in by throwing away that sweater. I think in regards to the symbolism of the ascension of those harmonies, that was fantastic there. But there was just, in terms of like an overall theme, I think this track was trying to sort of like come to terms with the idea of the fantasy that we might have had, and like maybe trying to find another sort of sense of magic and wonderment in the reality of the situation. It's like looking at life from the perspective where like things aren't just gonna end because this one part of our life wasn't okay. It's like we still want to find some excitement and joy within it without having this thing kind of keep us down anymore. And I think we find at the end that we find agency through being able to remove within that sweater, get rid of that, and kind of move on with our life. And I think that was great. So I think that the theme is effective. It makes sense in regards to the lyrics and such. I think just general, like stylistically, you've got a catchy pop track here, which makes sense with the lyrics and subject matter. The instruments are appropriate for it. There are no weird sort of icky moments in regards to the note choices, no weird chromatics or semitonal kind of bits there. It's wonderful, palatable, it's accessible, and I think in terms of overall performance, is not a note out of place. Well done. The studio recording, mixing, and mastering, I gave it a 7 out of 10 because I think aside from like a resonance within the lead melody after the vocals. I think overall it was very well done. There was enough dynamic range in there to show a sense of real great like balance there. I think things were nicely positioned within the stereo field, the music surrounded you in the headphones. I think there was automation on like the volume and stuff like that, little bits of extra kind of spiciness and flavor that were added to make this more of an experience, not just from like the songwriting, composition, and vocal bits, but also in post. I will note that I think there was a mid-range resonance to that mid-lead synth in addition to being quite present, so I'm wondering if that's something we could have also notched. But aside from that, it's cool. It's within the instrument itself, It could also have decided to be that loud, but there's like a variance to the loudness of it. It kind of came down near the end of his tail or something like that. So I think given the quality of what I've heard from Alex in the past, I assume this is potentially a deliberate decision, but I'm not sure. Because typically the production and stuff like that has been very, very well handled. And to be clear, I would recommend, if you like this track, to check out Alex's other tracks on Spotify, as well as other digital stream platforms and stuff like that. There was dynamic range to this, again, with the rise up to the start, the ascension of the volume and part like that. That wasn't being suffocated by the gluing or compression or anything like that, but it was nice to level that pump because the bus compression limiting was handled. I'm not sure what kind of effects chain we had on the vocals. I think it worked regardless. The guy can clearly sing, There might have been like a couple of kind of like phase or kind of chorus effects on his vocals or something like that to kind of help them sort of synergize more effectively with the synths and stuff. But like it wasn't to assist his vocal performance. I think they just can sing well. And I mean, ultimately, this is my review of this track from an actor named Alex Woburn titled Scrooge, and hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please go show him some love via the various social medias and the Spotify page, and stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as he the help more than ever thought of crazy stuff going on in the world, and I will catch you in the next SP reviews. Spiderhands out.